You ever have one of those mornings where you step out onto your porch, the sun's barely up, the coffee's still got that bite, and you think for a second, maybe life's finally settled down? Yeah, that was me right before the HOA tried to steal my land. No, I'm not talking about a missed payment or some overgrown hedge drama. I mean, full-on fraud, fake votes, forged documents, the whole suburban mafia routine, and I swear the only thing they didn't try was sending a horse's head in my bed. You think you've seen legal warfare? Try mixing oranges with HOA Karens. I used to be a military prosecutor, 20 years in uniform running court-martials, watching grown men crack under cross-examination. When I finally retired at 43, all I wanted was peace and a patch of dirt that actually belonged to me. Founded in Ventura County, California, a sun-baked hillside with 20 acres of citrus, and best of all, no HOA strings attached. The place had its own water rights, its own tax parcel, no liens, no busybodies. I signed those closing papers like a man paroled after life in a windowless cell. For 6 months, I busted my back running irrigation lines, planting Valencia and navel oranges in neat rows, getting sunburnt in places I forgot I had. That little 2-bedroom house I designed myself, nothing fancy, just timber frame and a tin roof that pinged soft whenever the morning fog rolled in, sat right on the slope like it belonged there. The only thing louder than the birds was my smoker out on the porch burning hickory all night. I was finally doing something for me and nobody else. Neighbors, if you could even call them that, mostly just waved at the feed store or grumbled about brush fire drills at town meetings. Down the hill was Rancho Vista Bluffs, a luxury development with Gates Guard Shack and enough beige vinyl to make your eyes water. Every month they'd drop a newsletter full of petty rules. I gave that place as wide a berth as I give raw kale. And from the start, I made sure my land was never ever part of their HOA. I even got it in bold on the sale contract thanks to Elwood Slater, the horse rancher who owned it before me. Old boy spent a decade in court to keep this acreage free. So when I get a shiny envelope in April with the Rancho Vista Bluffs HOA logo, demanding almost $9,000 in past due fees fines for unauthorized agricultural development and threatening suspension of water access, I almost spit my coffee. Their letter was signed with a flourish Karen Mercer president. She gave me 14 days before legal action and warned that if I didn't pay, I'd lose water. Good luck with that, Karen. My water comes from a private well sunk 200 feet into solid rock running off my own solar pump. But see, that's the thing about military lawyers. We don't take threats lightly. I drafted a certified letter attached. The court order excluding my land included county maps and even CC'd the county recorder and the real estate board. You want loud and official, I'll give you loud and official. Figured that'd shut it down. Spoiler, it didn't. Next, my irrigation guys get stopped at my gate. Some woman in a green golf cart demanding permits for work on HOA property. They laughed and said, "We work for the landowner lady." She took photos of their plates and drove off fuming. Then the landscaping crew had the same problem, clipboard-wielding, pink-visored blonde snapping pics like she's on safari. I asked around. Old-timers at the feed store just chuckled. Sounds like Karen. They try to scare you till you pay. Just document everything. I took their advice and kept working. Then I found a letter taped to my gate, bright red painter's tape like a ransom note, same demands only. This time the deadline shrunk to a week and the fines accruing daily. They even claimed my land had been incorporated into the HOA under Section 8 community expansion. Except no such law existed. No county hearings, no votes, nothing on the books, just pure high-grade fiction. I scanned everything and fired it off to my lawyer young guy named Jared, supposedly sharp. He tells me, don't antagonize them. Randall, maybe just pay a little, they'll go away. Excuse me, I don't negotiate with extortionists. I mailed a notarized cease and desist and told Jared to do his job. That's when the Lexus showed up. She climbed out of that white SUV like she owned the hillside, late 40s, expensive athleisure haircut you could open an envelope with. Are you Randall Mason? I am. I'm Karen Mercer, president of Rancho Vista Bluffs Homeowners Association. She tried to hand me a bill over the gate. I told her this is private land, not HOA property. She shrugs and says, it is now, after territorial reorganization. Internal vote. I said, did you vote for me too? For a second, she blinked, first time I'd seen that mask slip. Then she threatens to suspend my water and lien my land if I don't pay. Lady, I told her my well's not yours. All water is subject to HOA jurisdiction, she snapped. No, Karen, just yours. She left in a huff, heels stabbing gravel like a villain in a bad TV show. Weeks go by, then I get served with a lawsuit. Real courthouse, real judge, real courtroom. HOA's suing me for $15,000, claiming I'm detrimental to neighborhood aesthetics and using shared resources. At this point, I start laughing. I'm not even in the damn HOA. But the filings are slick, way too slick for Karen. Someone with legal chops helped. I confront Jared, my lawyer, and the truth comes out he's been consulting for the HOA behind my back, helped write their territorial resolution. Betrayed by my own attorney. That one stung. I fired Jared on the spot, filed a complaint with the state bar, and started looking for real help. Took a few days, but I found Leslie Chapman, a federal auditor turned HOA fraud bulldog. Gray suit, steel-eyes coffee mug that says, sue me harder. She got to work fast. Within a week, Leslie found the real twist the HOA had used. My land in a grant application claimed I was part of their organic cooperative, forged a fake quote from me, and pocketed $120,000 from the state. They'd even included Facebook photos of my grove. Leslie dug deeper. Fake payroll logs, bogus board vote signatures from people who'd left town or were dead. She filed complaints with the state, the county, even the FBI. Then we went public, dropped the story to a local paper. Suddenly, half the county's farmers were calling, worried their names had been used too. That's when Karen went nuclear. Late-night sabotage, my irrigation line cut, no theft, no graffiti, just a warning. Then the social media attacks, anonymous posts accusing me of poisoning the water-running cartel, grows all that garbage. Photos of my orchard at night, captions like illegal chemical dumping. Even a county supervisor's staff account shared it. Leslie just said they're trying to poison the jury pool before we get to court. I wasn't backing down. I filmed a video in the Grove, laid out the whole scam, fake lawsuit, grant fraud, vandalism, and put it online. It blew up. Farmers, veterans, activists, all backing me up. The local news picked it up. Next thing, reporters are in my orchard cameras on my well asking how a simple farmer winds up in a legal knife fight. Karen doubled down again, filed new complaints, claimed I was harassing residents and obstructing roads. She tried to get my easement blocked, but the judge wasn't having it. He ruled in my favor, dry as a California summer. The HOA just started acting like it owned gravity. The gallery laughed. Karen didn't. Then came the final twist. The HOA submitted a power of attorney supposedly signed by Elwood Slater, my land's previous owner, giving them jurisdiction. But Elwood died in 2011. The document was dated 2012. We called his daughter Sandra. She still had letters from her dad, plus a statement in his will saying never to let the land go to the HOA. Forensic exam proved the HOA's consent was forged, signature lifted off an old check notary stamp from a revoked license. We filed for sanctions. The judge read the Riot Act, told Karen's new lawyer, this is criminal misconduct. Leslie filed racketeering charges, conspiracy, grant fraud, and sent everything to the DA. The state controller's office called too. They'd found fake payroll logs and ghost employees listed on the HOA's grants, all tied to Karen's cousin's shell company. The feds got involved. And just like that, like the moment you see the first flash before the storm, federal agents pulled up to Rancho Vista Bluffs. Karen wasn't home. They got her 2 days later arrested at a luxury spa, green juice in hand, screaming about attorney privilege. Her charges, fraud, forgery, racketeering, obstruction, misuse of public funds. Jared got swept up, 2 arrested outside his office, mid-latte, disbarred for life. Final hearing, the judge called it what it was, a criminal operation disguised as an HOA. He ordered Rancho Vista Bluffs dissolved accounts, frozen properties, restored assets sold to pay back the victims. Then he looked me right in the eye and said, "Mr. Mason, thank you for not rolling over." I walked out with $250,000 in damages and the weirdest sense of relief I've ever known. Karen got 11 years. Jared 7. Statewide task force launched on HOA abuse. A few county officials retired early. California froze all HOA expansions pending review. Me, I fixed up the Grove, hired help, and donated what was left to a legal aid group named the Fund after me, which still feels strange. 1 week later, I get a photo from Sandra Slater, her dad standing by my orchard hand on a young tree, big smile like he knew it'd all work out. On the back, she'd written, "Thanks for finishing what he started." So, yeah, sometimes the land fights back. Sometimes it just needs someone stubborn enough to hold the line. But here's my question for you. Where do you draw the line on community power? When does protecting standards cross into stealing someone's life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me where you stand. And if you've ever stared down a bully in a suit or a pink visor, let's hear your story. Hit that subscribe and stick around. Out here, the fight's never as far away as you think.